Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. For this video, I'd like to talk to you guys about the festival that just went live as of the 17th, known as the Shadow of the Mad King patch, or Halloween. We're going to be talking about a little bit of everything, so whether you're a returning player, new, or you're like me and you're just playing another one of these events, there should be something here for you. So if you are new to this event, you should head to Lion's Arch, as that's where most of the festivities take place, and as soon as you get there, you're going to notice there's something different. All around this map, you're gonna find candy corn, pumpkins, new vendors. The Mystic Forge is now a giant cauldron, and depending on your timing, you might even see Mad King Thorn himself. In addition to this awesome Halloween-themed version of Lion's Arch, there are also doorways all over this map. Interacting with these doors can take you to various places depending on what you'd like to do during this event, and that's what we're going to be talking about first. So, as you approach these doorways, it'll give you a title of where you're headed, and if you see one that says the Mad King's Clock Tower, you'll be ported into quite possibly the hardest jumping puzzle in the whole game. Now, the difficulty behind this jumping puzzle actually comes from it being a moving jumping puzzle, and because you're sort of on a timer at the same time. There's a big clock tower with a bunch of debris floating around it, and you're gonna have to jump up that debris before you can make it all the way to the top. At the same time, the green fog at the bottom will actually rise up as you're doing this jumping puzzle, and if the green fog touches you, it puts you into combat at first, and then actually just makes you lose, and you'll have to start again. You will be doing this against other people, but you won't see their full character model. Instead, they'll be turned into little blue orbs, so it's much easier to see where you're jumping versus where they're jumping. Now, at the time of recording this, I haven't completed it yet this year. If I do get footage of that, I'll be sure to include it. But once you do make it to the very top, the glass of the clock tower will shatter, and if you jump through the opening, you'll be able to loot the Mad King's chest once for every time you complete this jumping puzzle. But if you'd rather not do a jumping puzzle and you're maybe looking for something a little bit more rewarding, look for a doorway that says the Mad Kings Labyrinth. Entering this door will teleport you to a maze, and inside this maze are a bunch of Halloween-themed creatures and a few bosses. If you open your Looking for Group tool right now under Squads, it should be nothing but groups trying to do an instance of this labyrinth. This because it's probably the most efficient way to farm all the Halloween-themed loot. You basically just get into a big squad and loop around this maze infinitely, completing boss fights, events, and killing all the random creatures for trick-or-treat bags and candy corn. Also, because of all the events and enemies you're killing, you're gonna get a fair amount of experience, and this is actually a pretty easy way to just shut off your brain and level up an alt character. With the recent addition of mounts, I was kind of curious if ArenaNet was gonna put mounts into Halloween in any kind of way, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that not only can you use mounts in the labyrinth, but it appears they added a mount race. Now, nothing extra was actually added, but through the labyrinth itself, every so often, a race will start up and you can participate if you so desire. I think most people are more concerned with farming experience and trick-or-treat bags, but every now and again, it's nice to take a break from the constant farming of the labyrinth to do something a little more fun. Don't get me wrong, the labyrinth is plenty fun at first, but after a while of farming it, you're gonna want something else to do. Lucky for us, there's something that happens every hour in the Lion's Arch map during this festival. At the top of every hour, Mad King Thorn himself shows up and plays Simon Says, or as he calls it, Mad King Says, with any players who want to participate. All you have to do to play along is just be near him during this event, and when the Mad King Thorn calls out an action, you'll need to respond with an emote. This, of course, only when the phrase, "the Mad King says" is uttered, otherwise you'll be knocked to the ground and he'll laugh in your face. Doing this correctly enough times is going to reward you with Mad King's chest key fragments, and getting 3 of these together will allow you to loot the chest in the center of Lion's Arch. You can do this event as many times as you like, but you'll only be able to get 3 key fragments per day. Now with that out of the way, we can talk about that final door, or as it's called, the Ascent to Madness, a mini dungeon that takes place during this festival, where you get to fight the Mad King Thorn. This dungeon is 3 vertical levels and can be done with up to 5 players. At the beginning, you'll see the Mad King Thorn, and after a bit of dialogue, you'll be able to head down a chain to the first floor, and you'll start fighting some Halloween enemies. While you're fighting, the Mad King will still be playing a version of Mad King Says with you, and if you're affected by this, your skills will change to various random emote skills, if that makes any sense. Basically, instead of using emotes, you'll have to use your skills. Not only this, but every few seconds, those skills are going to alternate in position, making it slightly more challenging than the one you'll play at the center of Lion's Arch. After you take out the enemies, you'll have to fight the Mad King Thorn, and he'll retreat to the second floor. Transitioning between each floor is slightly challenging because you have to know where to go, but also because you kind of jump down a little bit and then do some free falling to get the rest of the way there. I'm not going to cover the entirety of this fight because I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but just keep in mind a few things. Firstly, on the second floor, where the Mad King Thorn is stood, there's this obnoxious crack in the floor that's very easy to fall through, so be mindful of that. Also, the Mad King will teleport between each level if anybody should die in your team and spawn back at the top floor. The reason to keep this in mind is, say you and your party fight the Mad King all the way to the third bottom floor, and then you die, so the Mad King chases you back to the spawn point. There's no way to get back up from that bottom floor. There's a teleporter at the top floor, but you can only access that when everyone in your party is out of combat. So I guess what I'm getting at here is try not to die if at all possible, and if you should die and respawn, try and regroup as quickly as possible. Defeating the Mad King Thorn will get you a pop-up chest reward where you'll have to pick some rewards, but also on the very bottom level there'll be a chest you can loot as well. So outside of the addition of mounts to the labyrinth, pretty much everything I've covered so far has been in every Halloween up until now, so let's move on to some of the new stuff. They did re-add one activity that I remember from, I think, Guild Wars 2 launch back in 2012, where you could scan for some ghosts around Tyria, and doing this collection would unlock a few back pieces. To get started, talk to Magister Tassie in Lion's Arch, and she'll mail you a scanner that you can begin looking for ghosts. If you need help with this, you can open up your achievements panel, and it'll kind of tell you around about where you need to go. But if you're not really into all of that, I will leave a link in the description to a Delphi guide that I used to complete this. Now, when this event originally went down, there were only 2 back piece skins that you could get, but now there are actually 4. In addition to a green book and a fiery version of that book, you can now get a purple book and a transparent version of that book. All of the back pieces essentially have the same skin, just with a different coloration or effect. With the addition of the Halloween Festival, they added a few new achievements, and a few of these achievements have skin rewards. That's right, not in the gem store, but actual physical skins that you can unlock. Just by doing achievements, you can unlock a full 6-piece set for either heavy, medium, or light armor. And if you want to unlock all the skins for every armor class, you can go to a vendor and purchase the recipes for the remaining skins. Now, as far as what achievements you'll have to complete to get that free set of armor, you'll basically need to complete a little bit of everything. You'll need to play 1 round of Mad King Says, open 50 trick-or-treat bags, complete the Ascent to Madness dungeon, complete the Clock Tower jumping puzzle, defeat all 3 bosses in the labyrinth, and while you're there, you might as well do 1 mount race because you'll need that for the last piece. I don't think this is too much to ask for a free set of armor, but at the same time, I know jumping puzzles aren't for everyone, and I see that being the biggest holdup on completing the full set. Outside of achievements tied to the new armor, there are also repeatable achievements, festival achievements, and some daily achievements you can do as well. Now these you're probably going to be doing for some extra trick-or-treat bags or some achievement points, but the dailies can actually earn you some haunted weapon skins. That's right, it appears we not only got armor, but weapon skins. To unlock these, all you have to do is complete 3 out of 5 Halloween dailies once per day, and every 5 times you do this, you'll be rewarded with a Mad King's gift, granting you access to 1 skin. But this is repeatable, so if you keep playing the Halloween patch, you're bound to get a couple of these by the end. And now we move on to one thing in particular that was added to the gem store that I'm sure you've all heard about by now, but is pretty exciting, and that is the first round of mount skins. Now, they did release these in a 5-pack bundle, and only as a 5-pack bundle, so you'll need 1,600 gems to get all these skins unlocked, and you won't be able to buy them individually if you really only care about, say, the Griffin. Now, whether or not you really care about the skeleton aesthetic of these skins, one thing to keep in mind is that these actually have 4 dye channels. And if you play your cards right, you can actually make it not look like a skeleton at all. It might mean making a mount one solid color, but I'm sure people would be happy enough just to change the whole color of a mount. Mount skins obviously being the most exciting part of the gem store, there are some returning skins if you just like creepy, spooky skins for your character, but the thing I think a lot of people are probably going to grab if they haven't already is the candy corn Gobbler. You buy this thing once for 300 gems, it consumes a small amount of candy corn, and has a chance to give you a random buff. It might also turn you into a skeleton, but you just have to consume some more candy corn until you get the buff you want. So if you're into a cheap way to get an experience boost, or a karma boost, or a magic find boost, maybe think about picking this up for 300 gems. And that, guys, pretty much concludes all of the content that came with this patch, but I do want to take a quick moment before I wrap this up just to talk to you guys about how to get the most out of your Halloween experience. So obviously do those dailies if you're interested in the haunted skins, but outside of that, why even participate? I mean, the expansion is still pretty fresh, so why come and do the Halloween stuff? Well, there are a few reasons, and most of those come down to trick-or-treat bags and candy corn. You see, during this festival, candy corn becomes sort of a currency. You can combine 1,000 candy corn at a vendor into 1 candy corn cob. Candy corn cobs can be used to buy all sorts of stuff. Most notably, you can get cheap 20-slot bags for your characters. It'll take 3 candy corn cobs in order to get 1 20-slot bag, but if you're running that labyrinth grind like most of us are, you're gonna have plenty of candy corn. There are also other cosmetic things that you can get, like miniatures and stuff, but really what I tend to focus is just trying to get as many 20-slot bags for my alt characters as possible every time this event goes live. Now, the bags are nice, but in addition to candy corn, there are several drops you can get out of the trick-or-treat bags, and some of these drops are very rare drops that you can use to make yourself a bit of money if you're lucky. A fair amount of the old Halloween skins can drop that could fetch you a little bit of money, and if you happen to come across an endless bottle of Batwing brew, either sell it or save it for yourself. I won't go into all the details, but essentially that is a crucial component that can only be gained through trick-or-treat bags to make the Nightfury skin, which surrounds you with a bunch of bats and looks pretty cool. So basically that's the information you need. If you want bats to flock around you, then definitely keep that for yourself, but if not, go ahead and check out just how much money you can get for one of these things if they do drop. Outside of the skins, I think the biggest gain you could get is being a new character or running an alt character for this festival. I say that because if you're a new character, then you can just run the labyrinth to get some free levels and use all the candy corn to get yourself some 20-slot bags. All this while enjoying some Halloween fun and maybe even earning yourself a little bit of money. No matter how many times they've released this event in the past, I always come back because it's been a year, and so it's time to come back and play some stuff that I've definitely played enough that I don't need to, but I just enjoy the holiday and I enjoy these events. You'll still have fun staples like the costume brawl where you can pop a tonic and fight some people in Lion's Arch, but really what it boils down to for me is just that I enjoy Halloween and Guild Wars, and you put those two things together and I'm a happy guy, right? Anyway guys, that's where I'm gonna call this one. I hope I covered everything that anyone could possibly want to know about this event. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know down in the comments. But as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy this Halloween patch, and I'll see you in the next one.